Everyone's pro-gun until they're not, and we're gonna discuss that right now with Judge Jeannine Pirro, the failed Fox News host. Okay, the subject of this video is Judge Jeannine Pirro stabs gun owners in the back, and that is not an exaggeration because she did stab gun owners in the back. Before we get into that, my name is John Crump, and this is John Crump live from on site from Alaska. So I'm in my hotel room in Alaska, but this is important, so I have to make this video. There's a case out of DC called United States versus Benson. Benson was busted for having a magazine holding more than 10 rounds. DC has a restriction on magazines holding more than 10 rounds. It went up to the DC Circuit Court, not the United States Circuit Court for the District of Columbia, the DC Circuit Court. It's like a state court, but it does have a lot of sway since the federal government does run that court, and in fact, Judge Jeannine Pirro runs that court. And it's sad to say, but Judge Jeannine has decided to go ahead and stab us all in the back. Let me explain. What is going on here is that she filed a request for an en banc hearing. Now, with Judge Jeannine filing for a request for en banc hearing, chances are the getting en banc is good. So this is not good for us because I got a feeling that the en banc is going to let us down. What the three-judge panel said was that the law banning magazine sizes was unconstitutional. But Judge Jeannine is going ahead and she's saying that is wrong and asking for a en banc hearing because she believes that the detachable magazine itself is not a firearm and therefore can be regulated. This is not my words, this is her words. And what the federal government is worried about, and she is worried about, is there's 300 cases pending for people with magazine restriction violations. And she's like, hey, for public safety, we can't let all these guys go because they're bad, because they had magazines holding more than 10 rounds. So Judge Jeannine, in her infinite stupidity, I'm not going to say wisdom because it's stupidity, is saying that the Benson conduct is is not allowed in DC, and the law preventing Benson's conduct is constitutional, which means she believes that magazine restrictions are constitutional. She was stating that the three-judge panel did a misapplication of facial reverse applied challenges in Second Amendment cases. You got to remember, the judges knocked this down facially, which means it applies to everyone. One of the things that Judge Jeannine is saying is it should have only been in this case, and that it's not a manufactured crisis that all these cases might get thrown out, but it's a real crisis because of the flawed legal remedy of the three-judge panel. One of the things she does cite in here is Rahimi, which is interesting. Rahimi basically says that a law does not have to be a dead ringer, but it has to be remotely similar. And she is saying that this is definitely remotely similar. I 100% disagree with her on this, but that is that's where we are right now. This is basically she said like a facial challenge to seize only if no set of circumstances exist in which the statute is valid. The government needs only to show that the law is constitutional in some applications. So what she's saying is that the law is constitutional, which I 100% disagree with. And she also states that the opinion of the three-judge panel was reliant on a due process case, Connolly versus the United States in 2013, and that was misplaced because the facial challenge doctrine varies by constitutional provision. And the Second Amendment precedent, including felons in possession cases, uniformly rejects the facial invalidity when the law is valid to some people. So she's saying that the law is valid to some people, therefore you can't do a facial challenge, which is stupid. And basically asking the en banc to take up the case and to rule that the law banning magazines is constitutional, which is absolutely ridiculous. She is dumb and she pretends like she is a Second Amendment advocate, but she is not. One of the most scary things is that she's stabbing gun owners in the back right now, and she is one of the rumored people to be in consideration for the AG position. If you don't know, which I'm pretty sure that you do, Pam Bondi got her ass kicked to the curb by Trump and got fired from the position of AG. Right now, Todd Blanche is the acting AG, but he's only acting, so they're going to nominate someone to be the permanent AG. And there's a lot of rumors going around that Judge Jeannine Pirro, is on the short list in that position. But we're seeing right now that she is not pro 2A. You see a lot of these Republicans and Republican nominees and appointees always say, "Hey, I'm pro gun. I love guns," until it's time to do something pro gun, like not ask for an en banc. But she just did that. And for that reason, I am going to do everything possible to prevent her from becoming AG. She betrayed me, she betrayed you, she betrayed all gun owners around the nation, and we cannot let that stand. We cannot forget, we cannot forgive. We have to hold these people to task when they want to violate our God-given rights, our civil rights. We have to say that is a bridge too far, and no, we will not support you no matter the consequences. We'll go scorched earth to make sure that you never ever become AG because you sold us out. You betrayed us. You are a redcoat. You are a turncoat. You deserve no respect. You deserve no second chances. You're done. Over. It's over. You betrayed us, and therefore you have lost our support forever, and there's no coming back from that. So, Judge Jeannine or whoever's watching from inside your office, I will make sure that I do everything in my power to make sure you never get that position of AG if you get nominated. And I'm going to work actively to make sure you don't get nominated. Maybe you will, maybe you won't, but I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure you don't get that nomination. And if you do, to actively campaign of you not getting confirmed. You got to remember, these politicians, they don't care about you, or they don't care about me. They care about lining their pockets and doing what the powers be want them to so they can maintain power. All they care about is power. Now it's time to take away that power from them by any means necessary. All right, guys, that is it. I am in Alaska for the next week, and it's cold here. It really is. It's freaking freezing. But we're going to get out of here. Thank you so much for watching. And with that, we're gone. Bye.